on the MindLab Xterra Elite Pro Pack. So holler at me on those if you need one, for sure.
Don't buy from MindLab.
Yeah.
Buy from Phil.
Yes. Don't buy from the MindLab store. You'll get better service and a better price, guaranteed. That's for sure. And then we do have, if you see behind me, Joe didn't put up the new sign yet, but we have the folks who want a Garrett now for X9. I got to remember the name of it. It's we got that on special for $549 shipped. So it's a steal for sure. So don't buy it from Garrett either.
No, buy from a dealer.
Yes, buy from a local dealer if you got one, or buy from a dealer, or call me on the phone, buy from me for sure.
Hey, I don't care where you're at. If you're in the continental United States, 813-237-1939, it will be shipped to you. So buy from a dealer.
Yeah, buy from a dealer. All righty. Unless I ran my mouth too much, Jeff, I think we have some excellent guests tonight, so we better
let's get them on so I can hack in peace here.
Yeah, I talk too much.
So our gentleman tonight, there's a hunt going on in June, I believe it is. We're going to talk about that, called Rush to the Rockies. That's going to be a very, very good hunt. And these two guys are all about that, and we're going to talk about that. And plus, they find some killer stuff out there. So let's bring them on right now. From Adventures in Dirt, we got Ken King. And from 5280 Adventures, here comes Tony. Hey, guys.
Hey, guys.
Good morning.
What's up? How are you?
All right, so tell us how cold it is in Colorado now.
Not today.
Not today.
It changes
I think
daily
it's like
out here.
71 today. Crazy.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Oh, that's nice. I think 71 was warmer than we were.
I think we're supposed to have snow this weekend, though. So that's the way it goes.
Yeah. Yeah, you see, I got my flannel shirt on because it was in the 60s today, and I just
oh darn!
Oh, boo-hoo, Phil.
Yeah,
Boo-hoo.
whatever.
I got to put the long sleeve shirt on, so or I got to wear a hat. So so you guys are outside of Denver, then, right?
Yeah, I'm north, Ken, and Tony's south of Denver.
Yep. We kind of cover the whole state. He takes the northern half, I take the southern half. So
yeah, if it's happening in Colorado, we're aware of it.
we got our fingers on the pulse. Yep.
All right. Well, let's talk a little bit about the Rush to the Rockies.
What?
Yeah, big event.
Yeah, Rush to the Rockies.
Take it, Ken.
No, both Tony and I belong to the Eureka Treasure Hunters Club here out of Denver. Eureka Treasure Hunters Club has been around and active since 1973. So it's a very active club, very well organized, been around, lots of members. We just have a ton of fun there. Great people. And about 25 times since 1973, they've put on Rush to the Rockies events. So I think this is their 25th Rush to the Rockies. And it's just our national open metal detecting hunt. A lot of other people doing. And boy, don't you guys think that hunts have just exploded over the last sort of 6, 7, 8 years? Like, it's crazy with the amount of hunts that are out there. I remember going to Pound the Ground, one of the first dig stock type events. And back then there was only maybe a handful across the United States, maybe 6 or 7, but now there's just oodles of them. And Rush to the Rockies is our hunt we're putting on right here in Colorado. Right. And what time do we got for that? What dates do we have for that, Tony?
I believe we've got is it May 30th, May 31st, and June 1st? Is that about right?
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. Friday is going to kind of be our check-in day. They're going to have open registration on Friday, but if you've already registered, you don't even have to show up. It's just kind of like a check-in day. You get your tag, you kind of mingle with everybody that's local and stuff like that. And then Saturday, bright and early, man, we kick it off right away with some, I think we've got 3 hunts on Saturday, and then we've got 2 hunts on Sunday. So it's like half a day on Sunday, but It's going to be a blast. We're adding some things this year that we didn't have the last couple of years. One of them that I wanted to bring up real quick was we're going to have kind of a Ken, what do we call it? The beginner's test field or something like that? A beginner's field?
Beginner's field on Friday.
It's going to be kind of a cordoned off area where if you're brand new to metal detecting, or if you just got your metal detector and you want to show up and you kind of don't know what to be listening for, we've got this field just for them, and they can go out and test it. And you know, we're all obsessed about hearing those different tones all the time. I know I personally hear it in my sleep because that's all I want to do. So, you know, as much swinging and as much coil to the soil you can get, we're going to have this little small beginner's field for those kind of people, just to tune things up and just kind of get ready for the hunt and stuff. So kind of something a little bit new for us to do. We're trying to bring more people into the hobby and stuff like that. And we thought it might be a good idea.
Yeah. No, are your hunts that you do, are they all seeded hunts? Are they natural or?
Yeah, they're all seeded. Yeah, go ahead, Tony.
Unfortunately, out here we just don't have you throw a stone and you hit Civil War battlefield or Treasure Coast gold or something like that. But so our hunt is actually going to be seeded. So we do seed it with 100% plus entry fees going into the ground, and people say, well, how can
you say that?
How can you say 100 plus? Well, throughout the entire year, we're planning on this, and our treasure hunting club actually donates money to our Rush to the Rockies side of things. So we actually have more money that we actually put into the ground than just 100% of the entry fee. So it's a great hunt. My gosh, I think our first year was like 2018-ish, I believe 2019 is something like 2018. And it's been an absolute blast since then. We've had people from all over the United States come and dig with us and just kind of enjoy the weekend. It's a lot about getting together and, spending time together, and opportunities to meet people that just absolutely live, breathe, and sleep what we absolutely love.
Yeah, and we're still adding sponsors. We have all the manufacturers, joining us, but we're still bringing in sponsorship and little special things that might go on out there. Nothing really to announce yet, but there might be some big announcements coming as things continue to develop for us out there. But no, Tony covered it pretty well. It's a seeded hunt. Everyone's been. If you've never been to a seeded hunt before, it's a little bit of a different type of metal detecting. Another reason why we wanted to do this sort of beginner's field. Maybe you've never been to a seeded hunt before. You don't really know how to do it. It's a little bit of a different detecting. Maybe you're not familiar with a seeded hunt. Well, if you come out that beginner's field on Friday, then definitely you're going to be around a bunch of people that have done seeded hunts a lot, and we'd be able to give you some tips and pointers on how to perform during a seated hunt. Yeah, it's a little bit of a different type of.
It's different, yeah. It's almost like a competition. It's fast moving because there's a lot of targets out there, and they're going to get picked up quickly. We actually, and I haven't been. Well, I have been to one other seeded hunt before, but we actually grid off our hunt fields into different grids and make sure that we have equal amounts that go into each grid. So we don't have, just by human nature, by, as you're walking out, dropping, or planting those coins, seeding those fields, you may have more in one area than another. We actually grid ours off. So we actually have an exact dollar amount for each grid that goes into it. So everybody has an equal opportunity at everything that's going to be out there.
Oh, that's cool.
Try to make it as fair as possible for everybody. Just have a good time. Nobody wants to go, to any hunt and leave with nothing. You want to feel like you've not necessarily got your money's worth, but you've really, you've had an opportunity, and that there's no questions. So we're going to have tokens out there too for prizes. Lots and lots of stuff to give away. Ken barely touch. He touched on the manufacturers' donations and things like that. We're pounding that pavement to get donations. We're making purchases from the manufacturers for all kinds of accessories, and there's going to be some metal detectors out there too to win. So that's going to be pretty cool.
Yeah.
Well, you never know. There may be some coveted towels.
A treasure talk.
Oh,
Coveted
they might. Yeah,
towels.
they might be heading our way. Is that what you're trying to say?
They might be heading your way.
Oh,
That'd be awesome.
Love it. Yeah,
People
absolutely.
would love it. Yeah. Yeah.
Those are
everyone's gonna
coveted
get.
worldwide.
No, perfect. I bet. Well, I don't know if I'll give one away if it hits my door. I'm the one collecting all the donations right now. If it hits my door, it just might stay there.
that's
Well, there
cool.
might be a Zazich or something too, Phil. What do you think?
Yeah, if Joe, what did you call him, Joe Van Gogh or VZ Van Gogh, decorates it and puts it in there.
Vincent Van Veezy.
Vincent Van Veezy, yes. He helps. He's normally on the stream, so we'll have to see if he'll send something. So when you guys seed your hunt, are you in grassy areas or are you in dirt or what are you in?
Go ahead, Ken.
Yeah, sometimes it depends on where we're at. A lot of times we're in grassy areas or pine needles have dropped and we'll just tuck everything kind of underneath the thing. Depending on where we're holding the hunt, sometimes we're allowed to dig and other times we're not. The last hunt we held was up in Denver County National Park, or not National Park, but City of Denver
City Park.
City Park, but a mountainous park. They call it a mountain park. And they wouldn't allow us to dig there. So everything was tucked underneath needles. You couldn't see anything. You still had to detect it and get the signal and pull it out. Place we're doing it this year, that hunt. Well, I'm going to show you a video here of that hunt. It'd be kind of cool for you guys to see it. Little cool video that Tony put together. But some people were complaining about the slope of the hills that we had them on. We were at 8,800 feet above sea level. And then we were on some pitches that were pretty good. They were pretty good pitches as we were planting on the side of the mountain, giving you the full Colorado experience. Some were a little bit more flat. There was one that was totally flat, but a lot of them, it gave you a nice experience of being in Colorado. This year, because of some of those comments, we've decided to bring it down to more of a pasture area, more of a flat land. And so they'll just be sort of like pasture grasses and stuff. But this time we're actually able to put them underneath the ground. So not deep, just no more than an inch or two. But yeah, so that's where we're at. If you guys want me to show you that video, I'll show you the video real quick. You okay with that?
You okay with that, Jeff?
You good? Yeah. Okay. Let me share my screen here and we will get that going. All right, here we go.
Yeah, we brought it down to 6,300 feet this year instead of 8,800, to make it easier on everybody.
Okay, cool. I'm glad you know how to do that, Ken.
Well, you know how to do it too. You just don't do it.
I'm afraid to do it. I'm afraid I'll hit the wrong button and I'll be gone.
Well, we do it from time to time, Phil. We do.
Have you got it?
You guys able to hear the music on that or not?
We don't see it.
You gotta.
You don't see it?
Nope.
I see the.
You're not seeing the video?
Let me see if I can.
You're not seeing the video at all? Those are sharing it.
There we go.
There it is. And you start it over again?
Yeah, start it over.
Here we go. How's this?
Okay.
And Ken, how many people do you normally have come to the hunt?
Yeah, between 100 and 115 usually.
Oh, cool.
Hey, Ken, cut the music down a little bit. There you go. We can kind of talk over it. It's just music. We have a really good time. At this, are you guys able to hear me?
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're perfect.
At this particular hunt, we actually had, I'm pretty sure it was this hunt. We actually had a moose come through the hunting area with us. It was quite interesting.
Well, that would be interesting.
And some of these video shots, you can kind of see the slope that I was talking about.
Yeah.
Well, you are in the mountains.
It was an absolutely beautiful area.
There in the mountains.
Yeah.
It was nice. I brought my drone out and got a lot of overall videos as things were going on there. It was an incredible spot right there in Conifer.
Well, even if they don't find anything, Ken, they're going to get some great views.
Yes.
I think everybody
We'll have a
walked
good
away
time.
with a handful of stuff. We had so many items to give away. Ken was the VJ of that whole event, and we got to Sunday, and he just was shouting out, "Okay, who doesn't have something? Come on, just pick something up here. Just come on up." We had so many different things to give away.
There's so much to give away. It was a chore to give stuff away. Like it was just,
Yeah.
come on, let's go.
And that right there was the kids hunt, and we can talk more about the kids hunt here after the video's done. Lots of tokens, lots of just prizes overall, just kind of given away. It was a good experience, kind of for everybody. We had all over the United States.
Phil said it earlier. Even some gold.
We did give away some gold.
We had gold nuggets.
Quite a few
given away,
pieces
yeah.
of gold, actually.
Gold nuggets, gold coins.
Gold panning areas.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, that was pretty neat. We had Nokta join us. There's Dwight from Nokta when he was with Nokta. Yeah,
Like now with
He's
mine.
got- he is. Yep. He was down in your area in Florida.
Oh yeah, he's
Yeah.
more in Orlando area.
Yep. And there's all the metal detectors we gave away.
Okay. Did you have Mind Lab come there too?
Not that year.
My lab didn't come that year. They may show up this year.
Well, maybe they can do the Masters
All right.
of Metal there.
There you go.
Maybe
You
they
never
can.
know. Besides
Not re-
coming in
We're not
town,
ready to announce. We're not ready to announce anything yet.
but you may even get some
That would be a great idea, Phil.
Myers
That would be, wouldn't it?
tokens.
Twist her arm. Just got to twist Debbie's arm a little more.
We can't.
I wanted to
announce
talk
anything
about the
quite yet.
kids hunt that we had.
Go ahead.
Yeah, we do a free kids hunt for, and is it, I don't remember the ages. Is it 12 and under?
Like 3 to 11, something like that.
3 to 11, and it's a free for any kids in that area. And we actually gave away, I think, 1 or 2 metal detectors for the kids hunt. Gave them find bags for them to go through the field, and they got to keep whatever they found. And again, trying to get the new people into the community, into the metal detecting. And most of the kids there anyways, they have their parents or their grandparents, they all metal detect, so they have had some exposure to it. But there's nothing better than seeing the smile on the kid's face when they're 5 years old, they're out there with a mini horde, and all of a sudden they come across like a Matchbox car, and oh my gosh, that's the entire world to them, finding that kind of stuff. So
Yes, it is.
we got a lot of positive feedback just from the kids hunt, as well as taking care of them with new machines too. It was awesome. It was a great time for that.
Yeah, our club here in Florida does a similar hunt, seated hunt on the beach, and then they have the pinpointer hunt. And you see something funny is watching 40 people trying to find the prize token on their hands and knees in a volleyball court with pinpointers. It's just hilarious.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, I tell you, you've never seen anything till you see a seated beach hunt, because these people got these big cages they put on strap onto their waist, and what they do is they get a signal, they scoop and dump, go on to the next one.
Oh
And
my gosh.
Their whole side is covered with dirt and all kinds of stuff. It's funny.
That's awesome. That's fantastic.
I'm going to show you what they use, but Dirt Cloud Metal Detecting is asking, is there a natural hunt also?
There's not a natural hunt put on for Rush to the Rockies from Eureka, but I'll be honest with you. If there are people out there that are going to show up a couple of days early or stay over a couple of days or something, reach out to Ken or I. Maybe we can work out something. We're all about meeting people and stuff like that. So maybe we'll put you on a good spot. Maybe we'll take you out to a good spot or something.
Cool.
But nothing through Rush to the Rockies per se.
Right. We have all our own permissions out there, but it's not, none of it is ever large enough or open enough to sort of bring an entire hunt to. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
That's
Yeah.
what
Look
Jeff
at that.
was. That's what Jeff
What's
was
that?
talking about. That goes on your
It's a
belt,
great basket.
and what happens is you use a hand scoop. You're detecting. This is on your belt. You dump because it's a speed thing for our
Yep.
beach hunts. You got to be really fast because in 20 minutes it's done.
Yep, it's gone.
So they use a speed basket is what it is. The sand falls out and the sand goes off of your body from that piece of aluminum there. But yeah,
You don't want to be on that side of somebody.
on the sand.
You'll get
For
you'll
sure.
get pounded. Yeah.
Oh, here's a question from James Habovic. Tony and I hunt daily on the beaches on the Treasure Coast. Is your state about strict about detecting in the mountains? Do you have to have a permit?
Yeah, Colorado. Let's see how to word this. Colorado's pretty strict, and obviously I haven't been living in any other states where I've metal detected a lot at. You don't necessarily have to have a permit. There are a lot of places that by city ordinances, there's no detecting at all by city ordinance. You can't go to a park. You can't even use a screwdriver, a probe, anything like that. There's no digging. Metal detecting is strictly prohibited in a lot of the nicer park areas. There's no other way to say it. They're all very specific. So if you're doing any metal detecting in Colorado, you need to do your homework or hook up with us at Eureka and ask around. I wanted to hunt this park. This is in Denver. Does Denver allow hand trowels or digging tools in Denver City? Generally, the answer for Denver is no. You can't even use you can't use any sort of a digging or shovel instrument. You could use a probe. But then there's other areas, say like in Boulder, that don't allow any metal detecting at all in any of the city or county parks.
Matter of fact, Eureka Treasure Hunters Club, we have something called the Breakfast Club.
Yeah.
It's a hunt that happens twice a month. It's usually on a Saturday or a Friday. And, these people have been detecting forever. They go out there. You meet them at a chosen spot. A lot of times they go have breakfast beforehand with the whole gang of them. And then afterwards, they all decide on a park to go to. And if you go to that breakfast club, they will hand you sort of a list of all jurisdictions around us and what the restrictions are, what the rules are, just like Tony said, where you can, where you can't, where you have to use a probe, where you can use a hand digger, all kinds of different rules and regulations to bring especially beginners, so whenever we're greeting beginners at our club, it's like, hey, you really need to go to the Breakfast Club or go over there and see Chris and get on his email list and he'll send you this sort of do's and don'ts list, because we're all about doing it right. We're all about hunt with care and, keeping it positive for this hobby of ours that we love.
Yeah, I'd say that's true because you don't want to hunt in a restricted area. You don't want to dig holes and leave holes. You just you do the right thing. That way places aren't shut down for sure. And Angie over in the UK says we're not allowed to hunt in parks, detect in parks in the UK, only with permission on private land, normally farms and on beaches. So
I'll tell you what permissions those are.
Oh yeah, private permissions in the UK. Darn.
Shoot.
Oh goodness.
Yeah, I will say, Ken and I have we don't dig a lot in those public areas. We're not really park hunters per se. We're not after the gold rings and the silver rings and those kind of things. Ken and I really have kind of latched on to just more history, the older stuff that we can get onto. So we really focus our efforts on private land, private permissions, and even further down, we try to get in areas that generally aren't even established right now. That we find them on old maps, and now there's just open fields. That's what we really like to get into. So we stay away from the parks. It's super rare if we go door knock and hunt somebody's yard. We try to get on some land that you can go dig holes, and people are generally like, you want to go dig and out in the middle of nowhere, go ahead, go do whatever you want to do.
Yeah.
And
we have hunted parks and stuff. We've done all
absolutely.
that.
Yeah. Our focus now is more on history and kind of in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, I think you find the cooler stuff, the older stuff.
We like the older stuff. Yeah. I mean, well, it's not like we'd pass up a gold ring, though. I mean, if we had our druthers, I mean, come on.
Yeah, especially the price of gold today. So,
sure.
Right.
So, what kind of gear are you guys using? Your favorite detector?
Well, I'm using the best one, and Tony's using the second best one.
Oh, geez, here we go.
Let's hear, guys. Which one's
we
the
go
best?
back and forth all the time, especially in the field. Go ahead, Tony.
Yeah. I've got the Manicore. They call it the Beast, and there's it's 1A, and then everybody else is kind of the lower level, like I have the Manicore, and I've tried a lot of pinpointers, but I keep falling back to the Garrett Carrot. It's just a tried and true for me, and I really know it. I think I've gone in like 8 years. I think I've gone through three Garrett Carrots. So I love that pinpointer, and then I have a Gravedigger shovel.
Okay.
So yeah, from Eric over in Ohio.
Well, you need to get Casey with Excalibur shovels out for the rest of the Rockies.
Yeah,
another announcement.
Jeff, that'd be a great idea.
Yes, it would. I'll tell you what, I will send Casey an email, and he may even be in tonight on the chat somehow.
Excellent.
Yeah, Excalibur shovels would be absolute killer.
Yeah, it's an excellent product.
Have come out.
Yeah.
I have
Ken, what machine are you trying to find stuff with now?
I just use dowsing rods. No, I'm currently I'm swinging the Deus 2, and so you can see why Tony and I keep giving each other the business.
Yeah,
and it's a great machine. I followed up with the MI6 pinpointer that's connected to it wirelessly, and boy, I really love that combination. I've operated it with the WS6 Master setup, which is awesome. It's just as great as the remote. Lightens it up a lot, but yeah, it's a great machine. Those that swing it know it, and I give Tony a bunch of business all the time about his Manticore. But I'll tell you this. Tony and I have been digging together for a long time, and once he started using that machine, I was right there to see it. His detecting has really improved, probably triple. As far as digging good targets and not digging bad targets, like that has improved for him tenfold since we used to dig together. And it was that machine. As soon as I saw him start swinging that machine, as soon as he got to figure out how his headphones work, I've seen it improve.
Well, it looks like we got a comment from JP Hobbyist. She said, "I love older items. I love to find something and try to figure out the history of that item." That's a cool part of this hobby.
Yeah,
finding the older items and figuring out what they are. And Jeff, you got a comment, buddy?
Yeah, just never guess who's in the chat right now. The Key Date Kid.
Hey, what's up, Casey?
As Excalibur shovels. So let's make some picks. Tell him the dates. Excalibur shovels.
Speaking of Casey. I owe you a call, Casey.
He makes an awesome.
I owe him a call.
An awesome.
Tony and I were looking at some data because we run Relics Radio podcast on Wednesday nights, and I was looking at some data. We were looking at upcoming guests, and I saw that we had Casey penciled in for a date this last week, and I don't think we ever firmed it up. So Casey, we definitely want to get you on the show.
Yep.
After the show, I'll reach right out to you, bud, and we'll talk about that. But no, Casey and us, we've been talking about Rush to the Rockies, and I think he's definitely going to support our hunt, and that's always appreciated. A great guy, a great company. Like everyone needs to go support. Excalibur shovels because
That's
they're
true.
awesome shovels, man.
Yeah,
They
top
are
notch.
indeed.
I have the
that
Sir
was
K
your
and love
hand
it. Love it. Yeah.
I just love how everything is personal. You want this size, and instead of 36 inches, I want 35 inches. He'll do that for you. You want this color. You want this design
Look at that
serration on
thing.
this side, or yeah.
Sweet.
Just
Yeah,
a
that's
great
nice, man.
shovel, great
That's
digger.
his new home digger.
Yeah, that's the
What?
new one.
Yeah.
This is
Oh,
like
yeah.
the older style.
Yeah.
What's he
You guys look
calling
like
it?
you'd be
Jeez,
doing
it
that.
looks like it.
The Excalibur
Medieval.
shovel. New hand
Medieval.
digger.
Exactly.
Looks medieval, man. That looks
Exactly.
dangerous.
So,
Yeah, this one here he did for me, and it's got serrations on both sides. Goes down on one side, up on the other side. So,
Oh,
Oh,
you
cool.
know,
just
Yeah.
calling right through it, right through that rough
Yeah.
side.
Yeah.
yep.
All right, so one of you guys used the Manicore, the other the Deus 2. What coils are you using?
I just have the standard coil. I would love to get the M9 here. Probably we'll get that in 2025. And I've heard some fantastic things about the M9 coil for sure.
hmm.
We'll do that this month because MindLab's got 25% off. Can't beat that
Oh,
this month.
I'm gonna go get the credit card from my wife.
They've never done that before.
You think
Yeah.
you're going to get the credit card from your wife.
I'm using it to buy
Like she
flowers.
knows it's like he knows your wife, Tony.
And she may give you the credit card with unbeknownst to you that the words declined will come through.
Oh, she would never. She
And
would
what
never.
and Cam, what are you using? What size
I
coil?
got the 9-inch, and yeah, I selected the 9-inch when I got my gear, and really haven't looked back. I mean, it's sufficient for
Yeah.
what we do. We do some open field sometimes. A big 13-inch would be nice, but that's fine. I'm slowing down my swing anyways. In some of the trashy areas, we're digging a lot of iron, so I've got a pretty good program for that. That's really, I call it my X-ray program. It's really digging through all the iron and shooting out those great sounding targets for me, especially those midtones. And that 9-inch just fine with me. I keep hearing rumors that maybe there's another coil on its way, but we'll have to see about it.
There is, and we're going to have Philip Colin from XP in France and Merrill on in April. Or they're actually it's the end of this month, March 31st, I believe it is. And we're going to talk about the new the 9x5 high frequency Deus 2 coil.
That's right. That's awesome.
But Ken, a lot of people say, oh, well, you need the big coil to get deeper. Trust me. And you know as well as I do, that 9-inch Deus 2 coil will go deeper than you want to dig sometimes.
Right. How deep do you want to deep?
Yeah, I think that 9-inch is a magic size myself because that's why MindLab copied and did the also. So I just think it's a magic size. But Jocelyn's over there on the other side of the room saying, I've got questions. I got questions.
Yeah.
So Tim Naylor, he's asking your most unusual find.
That's a great question.
I've got an unusual find.
Yeah, you do. And I hope it's the one I'm thinking of. Go for it.
I actually found this in Oklahoma and not in Colorado. I actually dug we were there for a hunt with a whole bunch of other YouTubers and people from all over the nation. But we were actually digging where one of them was staying at. We got permission to dig the property. It was an older property. It's got this nice little pond lake on the property, and I was over near that, and I got this. It was a tone. It was a target. So I dug it. It ended up being it was a trap, like a hunting trap about this big, and it was tripped and closed, and inside of it was it the head it was the head of a beaver. It was stuck inside the trap, and I dug that up when I was metal detecting. So I didn't expect to find that.
Right. That was unexpected for sure.
Did you keep
pretty
it?
cool.
Was it old?
So, it was older one, yeah, for sure. We actually left it on the property for the owners, and the person that was staying there let them know that we had found it on the property, and it was kind of nice little touch on the back deck for them to kind of look at and everything. So it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Kind of unusual. You don't see that every day.
Oh, that's
We
funny.
didn't put it on the deck and then not tell the owners about it.
Yeah, that-
I
we
would have
could've done
been
that.
like, oh.
Put on the back of the toilet in the guest bath or
Yeah.
something.
Oh, that's creepy. All right, how about you, Ken? What's your
Oh man, there's so many. We were hunting a stagecoach stop here in Colorado, and you're digging around, you're putting the trash in one side of your pouch. You got good pocket for the good finds, your good box. And I found this little cap, and it looked like the top of like a milk cap. It was threaded. Actually, it wasn't threaded, but I thought it still looked like a milk cap, about that size, and there was some writing on it. So I kind of brushed it off and looked at it, and it had this building on it. It said the Centennial Watch. It said Memorial Building, and it had 1876 on the bottom of it. So as soon as I saw that information, I was like, this doesn't sound like a milk cap. So I just didn't know what it was. It was just very odd. So I kind of put it in my trash pouch. I just figured it was still trash, really thin metal. When I got home, I started my research and I couldn't find it anywhere. And then I popped up on me at the Smithsonian Institute, showed back from 1876, the Centennial Exposition in Philadelphia in 1876, sort of the big 100-year anniversary. They had 10 million attendees at this. I don't know how many weeks it was, this exposition, but they gave these little almost doll watches away, to pocket watch souvenirs to everyone. And it's called the Centennial Watch. They gave them away in the Memorial Building, and it commemorated the Centennial Exposition. And on the front, which wasn't part of my find, it had separated. So it was a watch back basically. But the gears didn't work. It could just unwind the hands a little bit. It was from a doll maker out of in France. So I was able to look into it and dig into it and find one example of it. And so then it makes you wonder, right? Like, what was that doing at a stagecoach stop, from the mid 1800s in Colorado, So that was a very peculiar, odd little find that I found.
Yeah. Great research.
Aren't there
too.
millions of them though, guys? I mean, come on, we can come up with millions of those things.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to do a giveaway here directly.
Oh, okay, good.
Yeah.
And while we're doing that, we can talk about Sandman Detectors asking how the mineralization is in the ground in Colorado.
Yeah, it depends on where you go. Colorado's got all kinds of different soils.
Mm-hmm.
You want me to go ahead and just keep talking over the top of this?
Sure. All they got to do. Nope. They need to put that in the chat if they want to be entered for the swag pack, which
Get
will
in on
be
that.
the coveted towel.
And a bunch
Does
of
the uppercase and lowercase matter for people out there?
Just like I've got it.
Okay, all uppercase.
It's exactly like I've got it.
we're yelling coveted Sazich. We're yelling at them.
Take coveted Sajid. Yeah, so you can go to you can go on the flatlands and get some very mineralized soil that you're just, it's very tough. You got to change some settings, definitely. Then you can get to other areas that are really sandy. Colorado has a lot of loamy soil. So sometimes it could be very sandy. When you get up to the mountains, it's just all that like peat almost from the pine needles that have come and mulched up the ground a lot. And that's just like butter up there, right? That's like great digging.
Great to dig in. Oh,
yeah.
great.
But it could be, you can shoot the gamut. Nothing like Virginia, like Culpeper or anything like that. But yeah, we've got it. We've got the mineralization.
Okay. Well, I think we got another question there. Any close calls with mountain critters detecting? That's
I'm gonna
good.
let Tony take this one.
Oh, thanks.
Better tell it.
I was out digging west of the Mississippi. I won't say exactly where we were, but I was out with two buddies from Kansas on a great site. And we were actually coming from the north. We had gone through these fields out to the north. We were coming back down south, and they were kind of broken up by some different areas. And we were in the first field closest to the river, probably about 120 yards away from the river, inland from the river. And I met up with my buddy Garrett, and he goes, "Hey, Tony, there's a moose over here." and we're like, oh my gosh, we're on this incredible land. We get to see the scenery, this moose. And I got out my phone. I just start recording, and she turns towards us and stomps 3 times. And within, I had just recorded 7 seconds. By that time, she already started at a full run towards us. She cleared that 100 yards plus in about 3 seconds. It was insane how fast she was, and started chasing us around. We're running around the sagebrush and these cottonwoods in this area, chasing us, outflanking us, stopping, coming around on us and everything. It was one of the scariest things I've ever had my entire life. I actually fell, lost a boot, fell into kind of this marshy area, lost my boot. We kept running. We Carl Lewis'd over the fence, booked it all the way back. And it was one of the scariest moments of my entire life. And unfortunately, I had left my backpack in the area with my drone inside of it, had my wallet inside, my car keys inside. And we ended up, long story short, the landowner had to go back on an ATV, and that moose was still there 2 days later, and jumped off the ATV, ran around the tree, got this moose to follow him. He grabbed the bag, hopped back on the ATV, pulled off like, Dukes of Hazzard, tearing through, dust flying everywhere. And come to find out, he had found that that baby, or the mama moose, had just dropped a baby, like within probably 6 hours of us going through that spot. And so she was very, very protective. And he had told us after the fact that they have had lots of moose sightings and everything in this area that we were at. And he couldn't take his horses back there because they were so afraid of the moose. It was so wet that year. He couldn't get his tractor back there. And it was an incredible day and hunt that I'll never forget, but that moose didn't make it very easy on us. It was pretty intense. Probably one of
I
my
laugh about it, and I always poke fun at him about it, but it was dead serious. It was dead serious.
Yeah.
So I'm really glad that
we're real lucky.
Nothing worse happened. Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
It's a good thing that you did survive it, so you can laugh about it.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing. I tell you what, that's a 2,000-pound animal coming at you with intent to do you harm.
Well, and I had mentioned that once we had gotten back and we had rushed to the Rockies, that Ken had shown that video, and we had that other moose, but this was a bull moose that came through our area at that point. I still had a lot of those emotions come back when I saw that moose coming into the rush to the Rockies field, and he wanted nothing to do with us. He was just all about eating, and he went in the backfield. He laid down, and it was totally different experience, but I still had those emotions, and it was really weird. Having everything come back up and stuff based on the other experience. But they always say you never mess with a mama bear, a mama moose. They're very, very territorial and possessive, protective of their little ones. So
yeah, I bet you retied your boots when you saw that bull moose.
It was crazy. Absolutely crazy. Oh my gosh.
Well, let's give something away, shall we?
Yeah, let's do it.
Let's do it, Jeff.
Okay.
Good luck.
And
All right. Good luck, everyone.
Around and around and around we go.
Who's it gonna be? Howard
Hudson.
Howard.
Congrats, Howard.
Okay, Howard, what you need to do, and I will pop this up there for you. You need to send your name, address, and phone number to, let's get it up here, treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. Name, address, phone number, and t-shirt size.
Ooh.
And send that to treasuretalkshow@gmail.com. And we'll get it out to you.
Awesome.
I think Howard just took advantage of that 25% off Mind Lab deal and got the M9 coil last week. I just sent it.
I'm gonna write it. I was gonna write it down somewhere so I don't forget that. I'm gonna have to jump on that for sure.
Yeah, because they never have ever done that.
Yeah.
I've been selling their products for a long time. They've never had a special like that. So I thought that was kind of cool.
Yeah.
But And especially that size coil, that M9, everybody's bought one, says, oh, I never put my other coil back on. I even use it in the water. So,
Yeah.
so I think it's the magic size myself.
I think Steph Diggs, she messaged me about it and said, hey, this is the real deal on the Manticore, this 9-inch. So it's been on my list.
Yeah, and people have told me it slices through the water. There's not as much friction with that one. And then down here, that's important to us because you're moving that coil in through the water. And like Jeff was showing earlier, that stork leg lower shaft for the Deus 2, that's a nice one too. I have the stork leg on my Manticore, and it's just so much thinner. So there's no drag.
Yeah.
You just have to tape your coil wire parallel to the shaft, and it just makes it more, you can hunt longer, less stress on your arm.
Ken was talking about that 9-inch with the Deus 2, and I will attest that like he said, we could use bigger ones because we're in larger fields, but to be honest, when we find the right spots, that big one, it's just too big for what we're trying to do. We've got our areas that we get on these sites. There's a lot of iron in those areas. And I can tell you, man, Ken is a freaking shark with that 9-inch on the Deus 2. He just picks through that spot, and he's money. He picks out some really, really great stuff that I just can't seem to hear sometimes. So he better be careful though. When I get that 6, forget about it.
Yeah,
The 6-inch. Or the 9-inch, I meant.
9-inch, M9.
Yeah.
So what's the age of the properties you're hunting with all the iron in it?
1880s, 1890s.
Oh, okay.
Around then,
Yeah.
a lot of places like where the railroad came through, when the railway came through, like when we're doing trail, stagecoach stops. I mean, that's back to the 1850s. A lot of times, Tony and I are trying to find military stopping points for the cavalry that was out here pre-war. So pre-Civil War, 1856,
Indian War,
1850s.
1850s,
Yeah, 1850s. Trying to find the stopping points for the cavalry that was out here and finding relics that they've left behind. And we've been successful at doing that. So it all depends on where our focus is. On old home sites, we're probably 1880s forward, 1920s. When military, we're looking back, 1850s, 1860s, 1870s, because they were here for a long time. But that's, in Colorado, you can't get back prior to 1850, pretty much. Like, 1849, 1850, people started coming this way. Boy, 1852 is when they absolutely lit up the trails coming west. But yeah, the railroad came, and then in the 1880s, there's a 10-year period where Colorado just exploded with population. And they brought a lot of stuff to them. So old trail systems we work, stuff like that. That's kind of hunting we do.
Have you found many military artifacts from that time period?
We've been lucky. Yeah.
We've been lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, we have.
Not like they find in
no,
Civil War areas like Gettysburg and this and that. We're not finding shells that much, you know what I mean? But we have found quite a bit, enough to change our idea and our opinion of Colorado. I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
You find uniform buttons?
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah, those are to be honest, and I think I could probably speak for Ken. We love finding old coins. I mean, silver, seated is fantastic. I love the military buttons. I love the military bullets. Anything military related is just absolutely phenomenal. I think it just tells so much more of a story. The coins are absolutely phenomenal. We both got seated. That was last year. We both got our first seateds in Colorado last year. So it was pretty exciting for that, of course. We never thought we'd be able to find that, but there's just something about a military button that really just kind of drives me crazy.
Especially when you can identify it, right? So if you get a lettered button or you get a company letter or you get cross sabers, and you try to help identify what company came through that area, who it actually was that was there, then it's even more exciting. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah.
Oh, company B.
They're
That's
the
got to be the
coolest.
Colorado second. Yeah.
Yeah, they're really cool. The military buttons. I'm with you. They're kind of my favorite.
And we've been lucky enough to work with some archaeologists in the state as well on some historic sites to not only save some of that history that not a lot of people know about, but also to kind of rewrite some of the history. We've been really lucky to be able to do that a couple different times. And we've got some videos on both of our channels for that. That man, not only are we on something that you just, you look around and go, holy cow, look what site we're at, but then you're really looking around going, seriously, look where we're in the middle of nowhere. And we've got these incredible mountains and we've got these views and we've got a spring and we've got it's just absolutely gorgeous territory that we've been blessed to be able to help the state with.
Well, cool. Well, it looks like we got one comment, and then we're pretty much our hour just zoomed
Wow.
by. Derek Sherwin saying there was a lot of iron at a site yesterday's rally in Cheshire, which I don't know where that's at, but with the
It's in England.
big
It's in
coil
England.
in the day too, still picked out the good stuff. And
Excellent.
what I always say is learn what you got, use it.
Yes.
You get something better or easier. So I wanted to say thank you guys for coming on and talking about the rush to the Rockies. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Tony. Thank you, Jeff and Jocelyn, for putting on an awesome show here tonight, because we did share a lot of wisdom for sure.
Yes, and we did indeed. So, Ken, you're in charge of all the goodies. So, shoot me your address and everything, so we can send you some of the coveted towels and some saws each.
All right, will do. I'll
Awesome.
shoot you an
Very,
email.
very nice.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Yep, great.
guys.
Thank you, guys.
And you never know, there may be some Myers metal detectors tokens in there,
Yeah.
because
well,
they have been found on the beach in Oregon. I will tell you.
Yeah.
that.
oh,
Now, hopefully, they be found in Colorado. Wouldn't that be cool?
That's right. That's right.
Listen, if
And they're
everyone's
redeemable.
interested, just Google "Rush to the Rockies, Colorado." You'll find your way to the hunt.
Absolutely. Come out and dig
Well,
with Ken
thanks.
and I.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
We'd love to. Thanks, guys, for taking time out to be with us tonight. Join us next week when we're going to be talking to Manticore with Relic Dirty Hands.
awesome.
She
Awesome.
knows the
Great
Manticore
guest, man.
inside and out. So we'll be talking with Relic Dirty Hands next week. And then pretty soon it is time for the Treasure Talk Digging Report. So all you reporters out there, start getting your reports ready. And we'll see everybody later. Thanks for watching. Happy hunting.
Dig
See you
deep, guys.